Sophia, have you ever stood outside at 3 in the morning, looked up at the void, and felt watched?
Honestly, most of the time I'm just trying not to trip over my own feet in the dark. But I get what you mean. That great silence out there, it feels heavy sometimes.
Well, as of March 2026, that silence might finally have a crack in it. The James Webb Space Telescope just sent back something that isn't a picture. It's a chemical signature, a scent.
A scent? You've said that before, but explain it to me like I'm 5. How does a telescope smell something 120 light years away?
It's all about light, Soph. When starlight passes through a planet's atmosphere, the gases there act like a filter. They bite out specific colors.
Okay, well, don't keep me in suspense. What did we smell in the backyard of the galaxy?
Dimethyl sulfide, or DMS.
Dimethyl sulfide, right? Sounds like something I'd use to clean a clogged drain. Why is that the holy grail of biology?
Because on Earth, there is no natural way to make DMS without life. None. It's produced by microscopic phytoplankton in our oceans. When they die or get eaten, they release this gas. It's the literal smell of the sea.
Wait, so you're telling me that 120 light years away there might be a giant sloshing ocean full of alien plankton?
That's the theory. We call it a Hycean world. Hydrogen plus ocean. It's a planet bigger than Earth, but smaller than Neptune, covered in a global sea under a thick hydrogen atmosphere.
A world ocean. Mark, that's terrifying and beautiful at the same time. No continents, just endless blue?
Endless blue, Soph. And the data from Webb shows methane and carbon dioxide, but almost zero ammonia. That's the smoking gun. In chemistry, that combination almost always points to a liquid ocean underneath the clouds.
Okay, but 120 light years is... Let me do the math. That's 700 trillion miles. How can we be sure? What if Webb just had a smudge on its lens?
It's a bit more precise than that. Imagine a lighthouse on a foggy night. If someone holds a piece of blue glass in front of the light, you see blue. Webb is so sensitive it can detect a single molecule of blue glass among a billion others.
So we're looking at the shadows of molecules.
Exactly. And the DMS signal is faint. I'll be honest, it's like trying to smell a single rose in the middle of a hurricane, but the signal is there, and it's persistent.
Okay, here we go. Give me the but. There's always a but with you scientists.
You know the drill. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Skeptics argue that K218b might have high-pressure volcanic vents that we don't understand yet. Maybe, just maybe, deep-sea volcanoes could cook up DMS without biology.
Ugh, volcanoes. The ultimate party poopers. Oh, it's not aliens, it's just a giant mountain of lava spitting chemicals.
It's a fair point, though. We've never seen a Hycean world up close. We're guessing based on what we know from Earth. But that's the beauty of it, Soph. We're finally at a point where we can actually debate the metabolism of a planet we've never visited.
You mentioned something else earlier about a cosmic bakery.
Right. Webb isn't just looking at finished planets. It's looking at the kitchens where they are made. Protoplanetary disks. And guess what? It found benzene.
Benzene. That's the ring-shaped molecule, right?
Spot on. It's the structural skeleton for almost everything complex in organic chemistry. And we found it floating in a cloud of dust before the planets even formed.
So the ingredients for us were already prepackaged in the stars?
Precisely. It's like the universe has a standard recipe. You take a star, add a dash of carbon rings, some water ice, and a sprinkle of gravity, and life is what happens when the timer goes off.
It makes us feel less like a miracle, doesn't it? If the recipe is everywhere, then we're just one of many loaves of bread in the oven.
Some people find that depressing. I find it incredible. It means we aren't accidents. We are a property of the universe, like gravity. If you have the right conditions, life is inevitable.
A property of matter. Wow, that's a lot to process, Mark.
We're just beginning, Sophia. By the end of 2026, Webb will have looked at dozens more worlds. One of them might not just smell like life, it might scream it.
Well, as long as it doesn't smell like those volcanoes. You keep talking about I'm in.
Stay tuned. The galaxy is getting smaller every day.
And much, much louder. Thanks for the existential crisis.
Anytime, Soph, anytime.
Mark. Okay, K218 is cool, but what about RAPPIST1?
TRAPPIST-1, the holy grail of rocky worlds. 7 sisters orbiting a tiny red dwarf star. Webb has been staring at them for months. And the results, well, they're a bit chilling.
Chilling? Don't tell me they're all just dead rocks.
For the innermost planets, TRAPPIST-1b and C, it looks that way. No atmosphere. Just bare, scorched stone. The star's radiation probably blasted their air into space billions of years ago.
Ugh, that's so depressing. 7 chances and we're already losing?
Don't give up yet. We're still waiting on the habitable zone planets, E, F, and G. Those are the ones with the best chance for water. If Webb finds anything there, even just a hint of carbon dioxide, it changes everything. Because those planets are rocky, like Earth, not giant gas balls.
You know, it's crazy. And we're sitting here drinking coffee, talking about these worlds, and Webb is just out there, all alone, 1,000,000 miles away.
1,000,000 miles, at a point called L2, Etzwin, balance between the gravity of Earth and the Sun. It's so cold there that the telescope would freeze solid if it weren't for its sun shield. And there's no way to fix it.
Wait, what? When you mean, if a micrometeorite hits a mirror or a motor jams, we can't send a repair crew? What's like we did with Hubble?
No, it's too far. Webb is on a one-shot mission. Every time it moves, every time it points at a new galaxy, thousands of engineers hold their breath. It's the most expensive, most fragile eye we've ever built.
Wow. That makes every single byte of data, every cent of life, feel so much more precious. Oh, it's like a tiny candle in a hurricane.
It is. And it brings up the big question, the one that keeps us up at night, if the ingredients for life are everywhere, if the cosmic bakery is always open, then where is everyone?
The Fermi paradox. Where is everybody? If we can smell their plankton, why can't we hear their radio stations?
Maybe they aren't looking for us. Or maybe life is common, but intelligence is the real miracle. Maybe the galaxy is full of oceans and forests, but we're the only ones who built a golden eye to look back.
That's even lonelier than being completely alone, Mark. Being the only one awake in a house full of sleepers.
Perhaps. No. Look at it this way. By finding these chemicals, we are proving that the house is full. We aren't just imagining things anymore. We are detecting reality. The great silence isn't empty. It's just quiet.
Well, I think I've had enough existential dread for one day. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm never looking at a smudge on a telescope the same way again.
Haha, neither will I, Soph. Neither will I. The universe is talking to us. We're just finally learning how to listen.
I think I'm ready for the next update, even if it's just more volcanic news.
Anytime, Soph. Anytime. The stars are waiting.
Let's not keep them waiting too long.